100 years after Nosa's legendary victory, peace reigned, or so they believed. But history has a way of repeating itself. In the shadows of a forgotten past, a new darkness begins to stir. Nosa's great-grandson marries the last priestess of the forgotten gods, and from their union a child is born. His name was Osazee. In a village deep within the heart of a great forest, strength was the measure of a man's worth. Born into a warrior tribe, every child was raised to carry the sword, to fight, and to honor the traditions of their ancestors. The stronger you were, the more respect you gained. But not everyone in the village was born strong. Osazee was one such child. His hands trembled from the moment he was born, and his voice was a stammering mess. He could not even utter a single word without faltering. While the other boys trained with swords and spears, Osazee would sit quietly on the outskirts, drawing in the sand with a stick. The warriors laughed at him, called him weak, and often mocked him for his inability to even hold a sword properly. They would whisper behind his back, calling him the mistake. His father, a proud warrior, had long since given up on him. He was certain that Osazee would never be anything more than a burden. His mother, the last priestess of the forgotten gods, tried to comfort him, often telling him stories of a time when strength was not the only thing that mattered. The gods do not choose the strongest, she would say. They choose the purest heart. But no one believed her, not even Osazee. One fateful day, the village's worst nightmare came true. A creature of ancient fury born from a forgotten war. The very earth quaked beneath its steps. Trees fell. The skies darkened. The beast their ancestors thought they had defeated had only been a shadow of the real terror. The warriors, young and old, gathered their weapons, ready to face the beast in a battle that was to be their final stand. Osazee watched from the village outskirts, hiding in fear. His heart raced as he heard the clash of weapons and the cries of warriors falling one by one. The beast was unstoppable. The villagers had no chance. They had placed all their hopes on the strongest among them, but now they saw that even the mightiest were no match for the creature's raw power. Desperation filled the air. The village elders gathered in the center, questioning their fate. "What hope do we have?" they asked. "What will become of us?" As the village burned and chaos consumed the land, Osazee ran into the forest, his mind racing with thoughts of his mother. He remembered her stories, the ancient rituals she had taught him, the secret power she had said was hidden deep within his bloodline. He had never believed her, but now, with his people on the brink of annihilation, Osazee had nowhere else to turn. In the heart of the forest, Osazee found the ancient tree his mother had spoken of, the one where the forgotten gods once whispered their secrets. Kneeling before it, he closed his eyes and reached deep within himself, seeking the hidden power his mother had spoken of. His fingers brushed against the ancient symbol that had always been there, though he had never noticed it before. The symbol glowed faintly, and a warmth spread through his body, starting from his hand and traveling up his arm. His heart raced, but not from fear. This time, it was from a deep, primal understanding. Osazee spoke the words his mother had taught him, the ancient chant that called upon the forgotten gods. As he did, the world around him seemed to come alive. The winds shifted, the earth hummed beneath him, and the air crackled with energy. He felt a surge of power unlike anything he had ever known. His stutter faded and his hands stopped shaking. He was no longer the weak, trembling boy who had been mocked by his village. He was something else now. He was the chosen one. With newfound strength, Osazee made his way back to the village. The beast was still there, rampaging through the center of the village, destroying everything in its path. The warriors who had once laughed at Osazee now cowered in fear, unable to even look at the creature, let alone face it. Osazee stood tall before the beast. He was not strong like the warriors, nor was he armed with the weapons of the mighty. He was armed only with the power of the forgotten gods, a gift passed down through his mother's bloodline. "I am not here to fight with strength," he said, his voice calm yet resolute. "I am here to awaken what you forgot." The beast paused, as if hearing the ancient words for the first time. It snarled, confusion flickering in its eyes. But Osazee stood his ground, repeating the chant, his voice growing stronger with each word. The air around him shimmered, and a light began to glow from within his body, brighter than the sun itself. The beast, once unstoppable, slowly lowered its head. It knelt before Osazee, as though in recognition of the power he had awakened. The villagers who had watched in awe and disbelief now saw Osazee in a new light. The one they had mocked, the one they had abandoned, had become the one who would save them all. And so the boy who was never meant to be great became the hero of the village. The warriors who once laughed at him now bowed in respect, and the elders saw in him the fulfillment of the ancient prophecy. Osazee was no longer a mistake. He was the savior, the one who carried the forgotten power of the gods. From that day on, the village was never the same. Osazee, the boy who had been ridiculed for his weakness, became the leader they all followed. His strength lay not in his muscles, but in the purity of his heart, and the power that came from within. And so the legend of Osazee the Chosen spread far and wide, a tale of hope, strength, and the quiet power that can change the world.